All right. Welcome back, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm Vic Porcelli. This is Porcelli's Deli. That's Jen. This is Becca. And we are here for the next couple of hours. And first of all, before we go any further, I just want to thank Dre Montez for coming in yesterday and sitting with us. And he is absolutely fabulous.
Yep, he's fun. I knew you guys would hit it off.
Love him, you know. And we talked about so much stuff. Most of it, I guess some of it, sports. One thing we talked about, and I don't know how we got on it, was time travel. And I want to do a show on time travel, whether it's a deli or a coffee with Vic.
Yeah,
I love
all
the whole
of the
concept.
things, because there's literature and there's plays and there's movies
all over the
all
place.
Over the place.
Mm-hmm. Shows. When I was young, there was a show called Time Tunnel, and every week they used to go back in time. And there was a show just recently that was a time travel show, and I can't think of the name of it.
Well, what started it with Dre was the Umbrella Academy.
Yes.
Right.
Which is the latest bingeable thing. So we'll have to get him back here to
Absolutely.
time travel with you.
He is invited any time.
Yeah,
and
we'll see if we can do one of those Wayne's World warp filters over you guys for that.
Wow. Okay, so lots to do today. We are going to talk to William Roth, and he is in the middle of a fundraising effort which helps. Here we are at the studio at NextCore, and NextCore is a place that helps small business. That's what we're all about, is small business. And William Roth is helping small theater companies, which of course are business, and he's doing a fundraiser right now for the St. Louis Actors Studio, Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund. And there it is. And what you can do if you donate to this fundraiser, you could win a Zoom kind of meeting with Sterling K. Brown and John Hamm, both from St. Louis, or Bo Willimon, or Sam McMurray, or Corey Finley, or Neil LaBoute. How do you think you say that?
LaBoute?
LaBoute.
I don't know.
I don't know. But John Hamm went to John Burroughs High School in St. Louis.
Yeah, he's
Sterling K.
local.
Brown went to MICDS, which I believe is where
I went to
Joe Buck-
MICDS.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I think Joe Buck went there too.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate. That was middle school. But I
You didn't graduate middle school?
That was my middle school. After high school, I moved on to a different location.
Oh, okay.
I've kind of been rung through the private school ringer, but
Nothing wrong with that. So we're going to talk to William at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And since we're talking about theater companies and acting, we thought we'd make acting a big part of the show today, and theater. And maybe to introduce you possibly to some plays you've never heard of, or talk about some things, and certainly about the roles that I played in theater throughout the years, which I'm trying to think of when it started. I think back in 2002 was when everything started. So we'll get to that in a bit. First, let's check on Rex. Is Rex being a good boy today?
I don't know if he's on camera, but we can try.
That
Oh,
means-
look, I see his butt. That's him back there.
So he's just laying there being a good boy.
He's being so good.
Rick's a good boy.
You had him in here on what, Friday?
Yeah, that was a disaster.
No, it was not. He's a good boy. Here's the good thing, okay? He's very attentive, you know. A dog trainer told me one time, if your dog looks up at you, he's looking at you for approval. And he does that, you know. Phantom hates being in the house, I guess. I don't know. He loves being outside. He doesn't hate being in the house because he's spoiled to death in the house. But he loves being outside. And whether it's freezing cold, 0 degrees, when the weatherman says, don't leave those pets outside tonight, it's just too cold for them, I'm at the back door going, Phantom, come in. The weather guy says you got to come in. He's like, no, good. Don't want to come in.
Oh.
But the thing is, it's funny is, when I take out the garbage, take the bag, and I start tying it in a knot, he hears that noise, he immediately
He
comes
knows
because he
you're
knows I'm
going
going
out.
outside, right?
That's funny.
And he's got to come with me. But the point is when he gets to the front door, he will look at me first and see if it's okay to go out. And if I don't say, okay, come on, he won't. He'll stand there until I tell him
That's
to
cool.
come
He
on.
wants
Yeah.
approval.
He wants approval, exactly.
Rex is in this new phase where he's super spooked by anybody who's around the house or any noises that sound like knocking or whatnot. And I'm currently out of shampoo. And so the past couple mornings in the morning, I've kind of slammed the bottle on
God.
my hand in the shower. And he's just gone nuts in the other room barking.
That's called a security system.
Thinking that there's someone at the door.
Security system is all it is. Like I said, I think I've said this before on the show, but Phantom has the biggest, scariest, loudest bark ever.
Yeah.
If you are going to break into the house and you hear that bark, and you come in, you deserve to get bit. Problem is,
He's warned you.
when you do come in, if you say to Phantom, "Who's a good boy?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a good boy. Hi, how you doing, sir? Wagging his tail. Treats up here. Gonna give me a treat, please? That'd be great."
Yeah, that's the secret password.
Yeah,
Right.
see with Stark, I'm the alpha, not my husband, not any of the kids. It's if they even say if I'm not home, they're like, "Mom's gonna get you."
Right.
He goes and he sits in his spot.
Right.
He's like, "Nope, I was being a good boy.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
I don't want to deal with it."
Some human in the family needs to be alpha at all times, and that's what's important about training a dog. And you know, Rex did it too, though. If you just point to his butt, he'll sit down.
Yeah, we use sign language a lot.
If you point to the floor,
Whenever I do the training, I'm always have a hand signal for
Absolutely,
down.
absolutely.
Someone taught me once to do lay down. You kind of scratch the treat across the floor to simulate the lay down position, and that works really well. And he does high five now too.
if you with the scratching with the
You just
thing-
kind of drag it along here.
if you go like this with your arm and then do it, he'll get to the point where you just do that and he'll go down.
Okay.
You know what I
We'll
mean?
work on that.
And what was the last one you said?
High five.
High five. But if you also tell him to sit and stay and do that, get him used to that, he'll know that means don't move till mommy says it's okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We're getting there.
But a trained dog is just the best because you don't have to worry about anything.
Right?
He's your buddy, he's your protector, and he'll always be there for you. And in your case, Rex is also the security system.
Absolutely.
Which way better than ADT or something.
Well, along with the cameras.
Right.
It's a dual purpose thing. I got 10 minutes when I can get home, so if I don't know what they're going to take. My TV's here.
That's true. We're looking at it right now, as a matter of fact.
Well, I like it that Rex is your security system, but you had to set up a security system to watch the security system just in case.
Yeah, it's kind of like what is it? A worm chasing its tail.
Yeah.
But it's like she's checking on her employees. You know what I mean? You have to have a security camera to check on the employees.
I also have excellent neighbors, and so I feel like my house is very safe because everyone's just watching. I get notifications and texts if there's a squirrel nest I know about now because of my neighbors.
That is my sworn enemy.
I don't know how to get them out, but
The squirrels and the chipmunks and the rabbits.
right.
Because the rabbits eat the veggies.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to pick a tomato off a plant in the garden. I pick it up and there's a bite out of it. And I'm like,
Rude.
what, you didn't like it? You didn't finish it? The tomatoes are no good?
Could have at least wrapped it back up in plastic.
Right. Put it in the fridge, labeled it.
Come
These
on,
rabbits are
yeah.
so inconsiderate. But we just take any fruit that's either gone bad or whatever, we just take it and we throw it in the back of the yard, hopefully that the rabbits will go back there and eat it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that's okay, right?
Do you get rogue tomato plants because of that?
What do you mean rogue?
Where they just grow, I forget the phrase for them, but it's when they grow on their own. Like not in a place that you planted it.
No. No.
I found one of those in my yard. It was a real surprise. And what's funny is I had a big weed thing that I finally tore out, and then I'm like, oh my God, there's a tomato plant on here, full of tomatoes. Never watered it, not one single time, because I didn't know it existed.
Right.
And meanwhile, the one I have in the back is struggling,
Right.
and I water it every other day.
Huh. We have one tomato plant that is growing so big and so tall, not a damn tomato on that plant. They're flowers,
Yeah.
you know, and there's been a lack of bees. I mean, we
Okay.
all heard the story about it.
Sure.
And so when bees come, we're like, over here,
Come
on,
pollinate.
put up signs, bees, please pollinate right here. But my wife says, if there's not a lot of bees, if you just give the flowers a little bit of this,
Oh, yeah, and then the pollen shakes out.
but only the tomatoes. Can't do that with the eggplant for some reason.
Okay.
So we've got some plants that are just bringing tomatoes left and right. And did I mention with the eggplant that my wife made that I was raving about? Also, the sauce was made with some of the tomatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, you did.
That is so awesome. I can't tell you how awesome that is. So there's one plant, nothing, absolutely nothing. And then one day, I go out in the yard, and there's a tomato on this stupid plant.
Just one.
One tomato. And it's not even red yet. But the only thing that's rogue in our garden are we've talked about this, the cucumbers. The cucumbers
They're wild.
are the menace of the garden. I don't even like cucumbers enough to have them in there.
My gourd is now taking over. It's gone. The trellis is covered, and there's probably 30 flowers on it. And so far, I think every flower is going to be a gourd. I took a bunch of pictures of them. We're gonna have to have a naming contest, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got Mr. Lumpy.
Absolutely, have
and
a
little
gourd naming
watermelon.
contest. Yes.
So we'll have those coming up soon. I'm having trouble keeping track of them, so maybe they need little name tags and signs. And googly eyes.
Yes. What with googly eyes?
Yeah, that's actually the perfect thing to do with those googly eyes.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
Coming up next week, name the gourds.
Name the gourd, with or without the googly eyes.
They have to have personality before you can name them.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Mr. Lumpy and his wife, Little Lumpy, is definitely they have a thing going on.
That's so funny. This whole garden thing has made me so aware of things I was never aware of before. You know, I mean, I would go to the store and buy some tomatoes, buy some eggplant, and that was that. But growing them, I mean, the eggplant are big, and they start with just a flower.
It is
A
crazy.
little
how
yellow flower.
quickly.
And then this little head comes out, and I'm like, oh my God. And then it's like, oh my God, it's like this big, you know?
It's fun to watch, though.
It is.
It's better than TV. You kind of go out and
is.
check on the progress every day. You forget to look for 2 days, and all of a sudden it's just like, what?
I completely agree. Completely agree. And I think I've really learned a lot just about nature and stuff, you know? And thinking back to the days, I have a problem with, and you know, we could probably do this one day. I have a problem that I always wonder what it was like before what we do.
Like our normal grocery store, with the ice box.
Even what did they do before there was any place to go to the bathroom? Just did it in the woods, I guess.
Well, have you never been camping?
Never. What's your point?
Well, because so in my time in Hawaii, I talked to Kanu, which is one of their wiser elders, and he was explaining all the different types of plants that they have and how they all have a purpose. And one of them literally has a soft leaf for toilet paper.
How about that?
So I mean that they use nature.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying we take so many things for granted in our lives that I always stop and say, what did they do before?
I feel that way about GPS, and I lived those days, and I do not remember how me as an 18-year-old got anywhere ever without a map on their phone.
We used to drive a lot from here to New Jersey or from here to Florida, you know, on vacation before GPS, and my wife would take out the big map.
Yeah.
What was the company that made the maps? I can't think of the company that made the MacArthur.
MacArthur? Yeah, MacArthur sounds right.
Something like that. And she was so good at reading that map.
Could she fold it back up for her?
Oh, in an instant. Like a Rubik's Cube kid. Okay, go. Back. Done. But, so GPS is one thing. Before cars.
Right, you didn't get very far.
Right. I guess everybody
You had to walk.
went to work within walking distance.
Well, sure. Or a horse.
Like a buggy.
Or, I mean, I think everything was just more
Compact.
compact.
I
You could
agree.
only go so far.
There's something charming about that, isn't there?
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my car. And I love to get in and drive my car.
Right, and get far.
But, you know, what about, like somebody said something yesterday, if psychics could talk to cavemen. And I said, well, you know, if the psychics can talk to cavemen, they come back and say, well, he said, how much did Gak say, really, in that time period?
Lots of grunting.
Lots of grunting.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this show. It's called Prometheus and Bob.
What's it about?
It was an old Nickelodeon cartoon.
Wait, what's it called?
What was?
I'm usually hip to the Nickelodeon cartoons.
So there was the show. I can't remember what it was actually called because it was like they had different segments, and one of the segments was Prometheus and Bob, and it was actually an alien came down, talked to the caveman, showed him how to do stuff.
That's how it happened.
And then all of a sudden, but Bob, the or he was just.
Bob was the caveman. Prometheus was the alien.
He just didn't get it. He never did it, and he always ended up hurting the alien at some point.
Right.
It was fantastic. I can't remember what that show was called.
The Nickelodeon cartoons, I watched so many of them because my kids, all at different ages, watch different things, Like
It was
my
Kablam.
son. Kablam.
Kablam.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
It was more the cartoons and stuff. My son used to love Rocko's Modern Life. Do you remember Rocko's Modern Life?
Yes.
And my youngest one used to watch a show called The Mighty Bee. Do you remember The Mighty Bee?
I don't think I ever saw that.
It was, it was one of the more recent ones. Amy Poehler, it was an Amy Poehler production, and she was the voice of the Mighty Bee. And Mighty Bee's mother was voiced by the woman who played Marla Hooch in A League of Their Own. So I found that out this week. It's one of my big discoveries. So are we doing any of the other wacky things that we do? Like we doing an Olympics thing or a Twilight Zone thing today? Because if not, I want to start getting right into the acting thing.
I just stumbled upon your what's your favorite play post, and you do have 3 comments so far. So let's. Do you want to pull up your photos and talk about?
Do you want to do that?
Those for a minute?
Let's
see
do
how
it.
many comments come through.
Let's
and
do
then
it. Let's do
circle
it.
back to that.
Well, we're assuming that people are listening. Anybody listening? Anybody there? Is this thing on?
All right, Vic has been in over 50 plays throughout your life, correct?
Maybe.
Give or take?
Yeah, been in a lot.
That's
a lot. Yeah.
One a year?
Well, it used to be when one was done, I hopped right into another one. And the craziest thing is that there was a great little theater company in Chesterfield at Faust Park. You know where Faust Park is? Mm-hmm. And the Carousel House, where the merry-go-round is?
Yes.
Right next to the carousel, there's a room that's for your birthday party and stuff. You have the birthday party in the room.
Birthday party in there.
Well, that room was our space. We built the stage. We, just we started out like cabaret seating, tables and chairs, and you kind of, wine or whatever. And then we started to be successful. Like we did Jekyll and Hyde. Usually when you do a play, you do it for 2 weekends. Mm-hmm. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Jekyll and Hyde was so big we had to do 3 weekends. And people were coming in droves to see this play. When we did Rocky Horror, we did it, like in the round, what in the round means? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We kind of did it in the rectangle. We had, everything was in the middle, and then the seating was kind of on the sides and like this. But when I did Jekyll and Hyde, it was the last performance of the second weekend when I realized the Groundhog Day syndrome of being in a play. Because Tom Bell was on stage, and he said his line, and then I said to myself, okay, Tom's going to say his line, and then he's going to go off this way, and then John's going to walk on, and then Tom's going to come out. I was like, oh my God, it's the same way every single night. It's like Groundhog Day.
Isn't that how plays are supposed to go down?
Exactly, but you don't realize it till you're in one. What if you're a professional actor, like on Broadway? I mean, it's Groundhog Day eight times a week.
I mean, you're getting paid, so I guess there's that.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything bad with it. It was a revelation, I guess, to me,
sure.
that being in a play is like being in Groundhog Day.
Well, what would be kind of cool is a choose-your-own-adventure play, where the audience voted for the next scene.
Huh. That's like Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Did you watch Bandersnatch
I haven't seen that yet, but wouldn't that be fun?
Well, yeah.
Or by audience applause, they'd be
Yeah.
like, should he go or should he stay?
Right.
I've been to a murder mystery that's very similar to that, where it wasn't actually scripted out. It was they got to choose. I don't remember what it was. My friend actually acted in it, so I just went and like one of their first, like they invite your friends and family, we're gonna do a test run type deal, and I went. And it was really fun though, because it got to be where it was like almost like RPGing, like tabletop. You got to make your choices. You want it scripted out for you. They just knew what was going to happen if you did something like this.
Right. There was a video game when I was a kid called Dragon's Lair, and that was the whole point of the game. Is the knight would come out, and you had to push this way if you wanted him to go that way, push the joystick that way if you wanted to go that way, and if you did it wrong, of course, he died, and you had to put another quarter. So it got very expensive. But do Bandersnatch, because Bandersnatch, you choose between 2 options.
I'm gonna have
a whole bunch, and there's 8 different endings you can get to if you do everything different every time.
You know what I watched last night? Us. For 2 hours.
Our show?
Yes.
It was a good show.
It was.
How was my Joe Buck? Was my Joe Buck good?
Yes. All of your baseball impressions were top notch.
Far out. Okay. All right. So, my acting thing. It started. Actually, I was in a play called Love Letters. This was in like 1997 or 1998, and Love Letters is actually made for just 2 people. I'm not going to think of the 2 characters' names. Andy is one, and Melissa, I think, is the girl. And it's just going through reading letters that they wrote each other throughout their lives. But the director who did this one cast a play age-specific to all the letters.
Oh, cool.
So we had 2 little kids that started out, and they were writing love letters to each other, and then older teenagers, and then back to, yes, I was the oldest. I know that's what you're going to ask.
I thought this was one of your first plays.
It was.
Okay.
Why?
I didn't know where you fell on the timeline.
That was the first.
During the time that you started.
That was the first play I was ever in.
Still the oldest guy.
Listen, it's not me. It's her.
It is her. You should sit here so I can whack you.
I didn't even say or
you know
do
what?
anything.
Hold on. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was not the oldest.
Okay.
There was 2 other people who were older.
There we go.
Thank God. Actually, I was the youngest. I played the kids. No.
You should put them into suspenders and one of those hats with the propellers on it.
And
have it happen now.
Extra, extra, read all about it. And then it really all went crazy in, I believe it was 2002. It was in 2002. And a friend of mine, Matt Urban, who's I worked with him, was an actor, and he did a lot of plays, and he said he was going to go audition for Into the Woods. Now, I knew Into the Woods. It's I think, truly my favorite musical is Into the Woods. Wicked's right up there, too, but Into the Woods is such a great story, and you can get the actual Broadway production with Bernadette Peters as the witch on DVD and watch it. It's great. So he says, so I said, boy, I always wanted to do that. And he goes, well, come on, come audition. And I said, no, I don't think so. He goes, come on. So we went, and we walked in, and my son does a lot of stuff, too. And when we brought him for auditions, you don't get to go in with him. You just, he goes into some room and sings or reads or whatever. So I didn't realize that when you do it in an adult theater company, you audition in front of everyone else who's auditioning.
Okay.
So I walked in and I saw that and I walked out, and then Matt literally grabbed me by the shirt. He goes, "You're here. You might as well do it." And, oh, by the way, and part of the conversation was, I can't sing. He goes, no, it's the narrator. You know, all you do is tell the story. There's one song, but you can just kind of talk your way through it. It's not really a sing song, you know. I said, okay. So I got the part. 2 things about that. First thing was I was bit by the acting bug and could not stop, okay? Number 2, they just liked me. This theater company just liked me, and I never auditioned for another play with that theater company.
I was going to wonder, do you, after the first time, they're just like, we got a part for you.
Yeah, we got a non-singing role for you. You know what I mean?
We need the guy with the voice.
Right, we need the guy that can't sing. Is that you? That's me. So that was Into the Woods, and I loved it. And so if you know Into the Woods, Cinderella can talk to birds. The birds come down and talk to her and help her. Like in the beginning, you know, she's treated bad by her stepsisters and her stepmother. That was a
Snow White thing.
Well, Snow White ends up with Cinderella's prince at the very end. She goes, "Excuse me," with Sleeping Beauty. Because there's Cinderella's prince and there's Rapunzel's prince.
Right, because the Into the Woods thing is kind of all of the fairy tales smashed into one
Great
story.
point. Let's bring it up. First you have Cinderella.
Right.
And her evil stepsisters and evil stepmother. Then you have Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Right.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Right.
Is in it. And then there's some characters we haven't really seen. The baker and the baker's wife.
Well, they're kind of like, not fairy tales, but nursery rhyme related.
And then Rapunzel is the witch, because the witch held Rapunzel in the tower.
Right.
And that's it as far as the actual main characters go. And then at the end, because remember we were talking about wolves?
Yes.
So Cinderella's prince is Cinderella's prince, but he has this thing with the baker's wife, and then he ends up with Snow White at the end, and Rapunzel's prince ends up with Sleeping Beauty.
It's a little switcheroo.
It is a
key
little
party.
switcheroo. It is. So I did the play, and Cinderella can talk to birds, and the way we did the birds was we had little, plastic birds or whatever they were, tied on strings, and then the string tied to a stick, right? So whenever Cinderella would talk to the birds, that would be me, who held the stick with the birds, and then I'd come down and she'd talk to the birds, and I'd go like this when they were tweeting, And then the director made an awesome decision that the last time I go with the birds for Cinderella, I'm like,
It's over it.
oh my God, I'm so sick of you, and it was hysterical. So that was Into the Woods. It's not that Into the Woods, though. That Into the Woods that just went by was in 2013 when I got to play the narrator and the mysterious man. And we talked about this yesterday, how the same person should play that because they both know the story.
Right. Makes it easier to learn your lines?
No, it's actually...
Is it double the lines?
It is, but it's also a challenge because now when we did that one that you just showed, my daughter Mia was my costume person backstage because you have all that stuff on when you're the mysterious man, and when you're the narrator, you're just a suit and tie, So I would put all that stuff over the suit and tie thing. I wasn't going to take things off and on.
Superman it off.
But at the end of Act 1, the mysterious man dies, right? And he says, "All is forgiven," and he dies. And then it's like maybe one or two lines later, and then the lights go down. There's the production I'm talking about right there. I'm the one in the beard in the back. So when I die, Mia had to drag me off stage, take off the beard, take off the hat, take off the coat. Literally 15 seconds later, I'm back on stage as the narrator saying, "And the mysterious old man died." So it's a challenge as far as that goes because, you have to have your costume right as you go. So that was a challenge, but it was a challenge I accepted, and you have to love doing it. And the guy on Broadway did it that way too. Tom Aldridge was the narrator and mysterious man. So that's where it all started with Into the Woods. And then you asked me how often I did it. They were done with that production and then went right into another Sondheim musical, which is called Passion, one of his lesser-known ones, which is very dark and very creepy. But I played Dr. Tambori, who was the, again, non-singing role. That right there is My Fair Lady, where I was Colonel Pickering, and that's Dan Boyer, who answered one of our questions yesterday.
So is this just for fun, or do you get paid?
No.
This
for
is
the love
all
of the
just
game.
for the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
And how many days would you practice in a given?
We'd start 3 nights a week, maybe.
For like 5 weeks, or?
Up until you get to Tech Week, and then Tech Week is grueling, and you're there till midnight.
Yeah.
Every night for 5 straight nights, or 4 straight nights. Thursday and then Friday you open. But that's when you have, lights have to be right, the sound has to be right, your costume has to be right.
Right.
And you get to a point in Tech Week where, because when you're rehearsing for a play, you say your line, you can't line, and then somebody helps you with the line, and then you go on. Or if you mess something up, if you screw something up, you stop and do it over. When you get to Tech Week, there's no going back. Just
you gotta have it down.
Plow through, or plow through any mistakes.
Right.
Whether the mistakes are yours or not, whether they're technical or whether they're lines or whether it's another actor or whatever it is, you have to plow through it.
Have you ever done any improv?
I have not done any improv. The only thing I did was back in New Jersey, there was this, again, not make any money, sketch kind of show. And I remember the big one that I did that I starred in was, do you guys remember, you're too young to remember, Walt Garrison, who played for the Dallas Cowboys, who did commercials for Skoal? I'm Walt Garrison. When I want tobacco, I use Skoal, just a pinch between your cheek and gum, And so this sketch was, though, when I want tobacco, I just use whatever it was, and I had to eat a cigar. Not swallow it, but I had to eat the cigar and start chewing on it and everything, and it was kind of funny, whatever. But my kids have all done improv.
Yeah.
And I love improv. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I know Chris is into it.
He loves it.
And he uses his piano as part
Impriano.
of it. Impriano.
Impriano was the game.
Phrase.
They'd wheel out the piano, and the kids would do a scene, and he would have to play music that was perfect for the scene. So if they were in love, it'd be like this nice. You know, if they were getting mad, or if somebody mean came in, it was a minor chord. Like anytime the villain comes in, the song turns into a minor chord. Like Sweeney Todd is all minor chords. And then the two kids, I remember who they were, Paul Dalba and Andy Zoe. They started like making believe they were doing like a sword fight, and Chris starts going into the Mortal Kombat music, and I mean brought the house down, brought it down. So, okay, that one right there, Scarlet Pimpernel. And
are you in green?
I am in the lime green tiger striped costume. Yes, I am. So the story with that is set back in the 1700s, I guess, when France was using the guillotine to cut people's heads off. And the Scarlet Pimpernel, his love, his girlfriend or whatever, was scheduled to be killed by the guillotine. So this is in England. They're in England. And then they have to go to France to go save her, right? And they had to go and they had to be disguised so people didn't know who they were. So we were disguised as what the script calls fops. Fops, which we would say gay now.
Okay.
So I got to be flamboyantly gay in this play.
Where's the video?
I don't have any video, but it was so much fun. I swear to God, I had so much fun in that play. And before that, before the fop costumes, we had to secretly sail into France, right, in disguise. So of course, the director picks me to be the woman, right? So we're and we had to get a costume change in a bridge of the song, right? So we sing the song, and then there's a bridge, musical bridge, and we had to run off stage, and we each had one person to help us. And I'd go back, and this woman would put a dress on me, slap first she put a bra on me that was all like filled with paper and stuff, yeah. And the dress and then the hat. And the funny thing was, you know, I don't wear a bra, so I don't know, you know, what it's supposed to feel like, and it was very uncomfortable.
It is. That's exactly how it feels like.
Perfect. So when I get back to the boat on stage, it was just uncomfortable. So I kind of just like went like this, and the crowd went nuts. So clearly I did that every night, because that's a fun thing too. When you do something that you don't realize is really, really going to be funny, and the crowd goes crazy,
add that to the mix.
Absolutely. I was in The Odd Couple, which I don't have any pictures of for you, did I? I didn't send you any Odd Couple pictures. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I was in it twice and played the same role. The guy's name is Speed, and he is the guy that nobody really likes. He doesn't really like anybody. He's always smoking a cigar, and all he wants to do is play cards. That's all he wants to do. He doesn't want to talk about sandwiches. He doesn't want to talk about beer. He doesn't want to talk about wives. All he wants to do is sit there, smoke cigarettes, and play cards. And so when the first scene in The Odd Couple, do you know the story of The Odd Couple? Oscar and Felix. Oscar is the slob who is a sports writer. And when I say slob, there is just crap everywhere in his apartment. And the funny thing is, at the first game, one of the guys says, "Hey, Oscar, you got anything to eat?" And he comes out of the fridge and goes, "I got brown sandwiches and I got green sandwiches." And he goes, "What are they?" "I think it's either very new cheese or very old meat." And it's disgusting and it tastes bad. Then Felix moves in because his wife threw him out, and Felix is so neat and so clean that he is a pain in the ass. You know, like people that are just too neat and too clean. So everything is sterilized. Everything is perfect. So the second game is after Felix moves in, and Felix made sandwiches for them, which had the crusts cut off and, you know, had just the right seasoning and you know. So Murray the cop, I'm sitting here, let's say you're Murray, and the crowd is behind you. And so Vinny gives Murray, he goes, "Here, try it." So Murray goes, "It's very light. It's really delicious." And Speed just wants to play cards. That's all he wants to do. And all I did when he said that was just go and looked at him like that, and the crowd went nuts. and my line was next, so I got to do that as long as I felt like doing it.
Sometimes the funniest stuff is nonverbal.
It's the best stuff.
Yeah.
It's the best. The best laughs you can get are nonverbal laughs. Absolutely.
Lines,
and that's how you really know you're acting really, really well. When you can get a laugh or a reaction.
How do we get you back on stage?
So the next play we're going to talk about, I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question.
Well, we want to do a couple skits on this show.
We are going to, oh, right.
So that'll be a fun way to kind of get back into the acting scene. 'Cause
Let me
we can
update everybody on that.
Where are we on that?
I think I have the 4 participants. I mean, I want to be in it too.
I assumed.
So actually, Rick
Yes. Our
wants to
biggest
be
fan,
the
Rick.
Graham Chapman
Excellent.
part of it. I don't know. I'll pick anybody. But there's a guy named Todd McCauley. Okay? Everybody calls him McCauley, but he's Italian. And his name is spelled M-I-C-A-L-I. That's McCauley. So I'm the only one that calls him McCauley. I've been in so many plays with him. It all started with Grease. We were in Grease together. He was Sonny Lattieri, and I was Vince Fontaine. You've seen Grease, right? Mm-hmm. I was Vince Fontaine, and he was Sonny Lattieri, and he won an award. He won an Arts for Life award for his performance as Sonny Lattieri. And we hit it off right away because he's from New York. He's a mailman. I used to be a mailman. So we just hit it off, and we're still great friends. We were in The Odd Couple. He was Felix. He was great Felix. One of the pictures on the deck there, are they still turning?
Yes.
Hold on, I think it's next actually after this. I just want to explain the play too. The play was called A View from the Bridge. Nope, that's still My Fair Lady. A View from the Bridge was written by Arthur Miller in the 1940s. It happens in a very poor Italian section of New York called Red Hook, Brooklyn. We'll talk about that too. That's Rocky Horror. And it's all about immigration. And it's funny that immigration is a big topic still today, right? So I was Eddie Carbone. I was the lead. And we are harboring 2 illegal Italian immigrants in the attic. And he starts out by saying, you don't say nothing to nobody, you know, because somebody who turned in an immigrant got beaten up in the streets or whatever. And it takes a couple of crazy twists and turns, but Todd was in that. He played one of the immigration officers. Most recently, I did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Todd, and he was McMurphy, and he was outstanding as Randall P. McMurphy. So I think he's going to be in it. And Tim Cunningham, I believe, is going to be our 4th guy. Tim was actually in The Odd Couple with me, and he was Felix in the original one that I did back in 2004. So I think we do have our 4 participants, and we are going to recreate as best we can the 4 Yorkshiremen.
Yeah, should I be on the lookout for a wicker couch set in the side of the road?
I mean, that would be going above and beyond the Call of Duty, but
Are you
absolutely.
going to wear seersucker suits?
Oh, I don't have one. I mean, I don't want to spend money on this.
Right,
I just
I'm
want
going to have to go to the bins.
jackets at least. Like,
yeah, at least jackets.
At least jackets,
right?
yeah. And Chateau de Châtelet.
Is that a certain kind of cup?
Wine.
Okay.
Who'd have thought 30 years ago we'd all be sitting there drinking Chateau de Châtelet, eh, Josiah? Right you are, Obadiah. Okay, can we talk about that one right there?
Yeah, this is your son here in the
That's
front,
Chris right in the front there. He plays William Barfy, who insists that his name is pronounced Barfay, but they keep calling him Barfy. And I was Vice Principal Panch. I was the guy who read the words to the spellers. It's 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And I'd like to talk about just the play for a second, because last year my daughter was in it, and she played the character of Olive Ostrovsky. And Olive, her mother, okay, this is a part of discussion too. Her mother is on a 9-month retreat in India. So a lot of people who really know the play and love the play start talking about, is she really on a retreat? Why is it 9 months? Is she pregnant? You know what I mean? But also there's a song, and she has to sing, you know, I think Dad is angry, Mom. She's not, her mother's not there. She's just singing to what she feels like is a presence of her mother. And I think he takes out on me what he wants to take out on you. You know, so she's not really treated very well at home. And her father hardly makes it to the bee. You know, she keeps looking at her watch, and he's at work, and he's going to be there. So she's got a really rough life, you know. When she comes and meets Rona Peretti, who my head's on her shoulder.
Oh, there you are back there.
Yeah. She says, "Oh, Olive."
She does not look happy about it.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. He is obsessed with her, and she's like, "Oh my God." So Olive, Rona says to Olive, we didn't get your entrance fee. And Olive goes, entrance fee? Didn't they tell you about the entrance fee? He goes, no. Well, who took you to the B? Your mom, your dad? And she goes, no. He goes, well, how did you get to the B? The bus. Like, she had to take the bus to the B. And one of her songs is My Friend the Dictionary. And one of the lines, like the last line of the song is a joke about the words in the dictionary, but they're better than the friends I've made at school, because she doesn't make any friends. She doesn't have any friends. These kids are all freaks. They, you know what I mean? This is their only time to shine, is to spell words at the spelling bee, right? So it comes down to Olive Ostrovsky and William Barfay as the two final contestants, you know, and they start to, I don't want to say fall in love, because they're 11 years old.
Right.
Their characters are, 10 to 12 years old.
Puppy love.
It's puppy love. They start to really like each other. And so part of the song is, she will not come in second. I won't come in second. I want to win this thing. I'll come in. And he wants to win this thing. And then she realizes that she likes him. She made a friend, So it's okay to come in second because she made a friend.
Oh, because she already won.
Because she has a friend.
Yeah.
And she doesn't win. She comes in second. William wins, but she's fine with it. And the reason is because she made a friend. And I swear to God, I'm surprised I didn't cry telling you that. Because Mia played Olive. You know what I mean? And she played that up so well and so great. This cast was absolutely fabulous.
Just from this photo alone, everyone's so great.
Let me tell you.
Like, they're all in their own character.
Can I tell you? Oh, absolutely. Can I tell you all the characters?
Yeah.
Here? All right, so bottom right is Maggie Howard. Chris went to school with Maggie Howard. Those two together are comedy magic. Everything they did together at Parkway South was comedy magic, when I tell you. They just had a rhythm. They had a, what's the word I'm looking for? Chemistry, cohesive kind of relationship, and they were great. So Maggie plays Logan Schwarzenegger, who has two gay dads, and that becomes part of the story. William Barfay is he didn't win last year because somebody gave him brownies with nuts in it, and he's allergic to nuts.
Oh no!
So he comes back this year. Olive Ostrovsky, I just told you her story. The girl in the plaid skirt is Marcy Park, who comes to the B from a private school, and she is so smart, and she reads the dictionary too, because she gets the word Camagan, right? And when she starts reading the definition, and you can see her eyes going like this, like she's reading it
right
out of the book, yeah. And she's sick of living up to expectations. And she purposely screws up a word.
Aren't we all?
So she doesn't have to live up to expectations. Next to her is Chip Tolentino, last year's winner. And Chip is a arrogant little prick. And nobody likes him. Top right is Leaf Coney Bear. Leaf's sisters and brothers are named like Pinecone, Marigold, and he's just in his own little world. And he doesn't do too well in the B. Next to her is Rona Lisa Peretti, who is the host of the B, and she was the winner of the 3rd annual Putnam County Spelling Bee back in the day. And Doug Panch has a crush on her, as you can see. And Doug Panch is a guy who hates kids, doesn't want to be doing what he's doing right now, and he just gets through it as best he can. Top left. That guy's name right there, the actor, is Jeff Cargus.
With a red plaid shirt.
He plays Mitch Mahoney. Mitch Mahoney is there as the comfort counselor. So when you miss a word, Mitch gives you a hug and a juice box.
It's like he's going to give you a punch in the stomach.
Right!
Your lunch.
And when he shows up, and like the words of the song is, if you misspell the word, we will ring the bell. And the comfort counselor, Mitch Mahoney, all the kids go, Mitch Mahoney. Like they all kind of move away from him because they're afraid of him. He played Mitch Mahoney, Jeff. He also played one of the gay dads, and he played Olive's father in the song called the I Love You song, when they're not really there, but she's imagining they're there saying I love you and all that stuff. You would not know it was Jeff in the 3 different roles.
All in the same play.
All in the same play. He was so great And the costuming was so great. And I love Jeff. He is absolutely awesome. He's Mitch Mahoney. And he's the, oh, I'm sorry. He's the comfort counselor because he's doing his community service.
Oh, God, yeah, he has no choice.
Right, so he's got to do it. It's a great play. It's a funny play, and, you don't hear much about it, but that was that. What else you got?
Sounds fun. What else do we have? I know that we have a call in here at 1 o'clock. I want to get this Zoom call started, so let's go ahead and say thank you to our sponsors.
Wait, what are you saying?
I don't know if you knew.
I don't know if I know.
Denali?
They
What about
deliver?
them?
They do deliver.
Did they deliver?
Denali.
Denali delivers. Here's how it works. Make a list of what you need. We source from Home Depot or the hardware store of your choice. Text the list to 314-499-2992 to start your order. Then, Denali delivers your order on a scheduled delivery date. Denali delivers.
All right.
Can you play the other one too?
Which is the other one?
The car-
Twins. Yes,
car
we
race.
have one more promo while we're still trying to hook this up. Twins Red Carpet Cleaning Services. Simply the best clean in town.
Your car costs a fortune. If it's not looking that way, there's a way to turn back the clock and turn up the value. Schedule regular car detailings with Twins Red Carpet Wash. Whether you need to maintain, restore, or completely revive your ride, Twins will dramatically transform any car disaster. Twins offers top-notch customer service and quality cleaning. You'll enjoy walking the red carpet every time you drop off your car. Call now and experience Twins Red Carpet Wash, simply the best car detailing service in St. Louis. Find out why Twins 5-star Google rating and stellar Google reviews. Get your car washed and leave a review to receive a discount on your next wash. It's not clean until Twins says affection and auto detailing is just a call away. Contact Twins at 314-9100 to book your appointment. Learn more about Twins service at twinsredcarpet.com.
Hi, I'm Twin. This is my company, Twins Red Carpet Auto Detailing. Can't wait to book you for an appointment.
Contact Twins at 314-9100 to book your appointment.
All right. While we continue to try to get this Zoom figured out, please enjoy some drone footage taken at the lake that I went to this weekend by my friend Christine, who is starting her own drone company called Sky Ripper Drone Productions. Don't worry, I will redesign her logo very soon. Just getting connected here with Zoom.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right. Look at the
Narrate
ski
our drone
roads.
footage for me, Jen, for just a
Isn't
little
this
bit.
a nice lake? Like it's just big enough to really have some space and get out there and boating. She just spent $1,000 on this drone as well, and let me tell you, if you're gonna buy a drone and you have the money, get the more expensive one, because she previously had another one that she broke by running into a tree. So she invested some more money in this one. She actually got her license. She had to take a test. It cost like $175. Studied for like a week for it. She passed it. Now she has a certificate. And I don't know if you guys knew, but it's a big deal to drink and drone. You will get in like serious trouble.
I'm sorry, it's serious trouble for what?
Drinking and droning.
It's a thing.
Drinking and droning?
Yeah, they like seriously look down on using alcohol while flying a drone in the air.
So DUI.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
droning
you're
while-
messing around in the
yeah.
airspace, intoxicated. It's no bueno. So,
Do I have to test all this audio and all that stuff?
I'm going to admit you. What you're going to need to do is plug your headphones into your computer when
Done.
we get him on the call so
Done.
that you can hear him.
Join with computer audio?
And only you are going to be able to hear him. Yes, join with computer audio. Because he's going to hear you through your computer, and we're going to hear him through OBS. but you need to plug in your headphones so we don't hear him on the microphones.
Okay.
It's very complicated. I've been trying to troubleshoot it for weeks. It makes my brain.
Hey, you know what?
Makes my brain hurt.
It's all good. I was watching the World Series of Poker. Get rid of that. All right, launch meeting. Launch meeting? What am I waiting for here? Oh, this. I think it's this other little thing.
I don't know
There
if
we go.
he's ready. Have you been talking?
Oh, and he
to
might
him?
not be. He might not be ready.
So we'll just. I want
We'll
to
wait.
get that
You just let me
queued
know
up.
when he's there. I'm sorry you guys won't be able to hear him.
Did you? It's okay. I'm gonna step out, refresh my coffee, and let you guys chat.
Can you do me a favor and put up the press release up there, because it's nice and big for me, for my old man eyes,
Give me a second.
and then we'll talk to him. All right, so getting back to plays and stuff. There was another one I wanted to talk about that you had up there. Trying to think.
What's this one where you're standing against a tree looking like a
Bad guy?
bad guy?
That was actually not a play, but that was a film. The film was called Sprout. It's a short film, 5 or 6 minutes. And my son's friend, Ford Fanter, who is a filmmaker, he went to Webster for filmmaking and stuff. And I can actually send you that if you want it.
The play itself?
It's not a play, it's a short film.
Oh, how long?
5, 6 minutes.
We should definitely play that.
Okay, if you insist. I think I have Sprout here somewhere.
Here's the
You know,
press
I'm not
release.
sure I do. Now that I'm looking, I don't think I have Sprout.
I'm making all these false promises.
I have Death Comes at Nightfall, where I order the hit.
We don't have to play it today, but in the future.
I also have The Suitcase, which is the animated short that my son scored.
That would be
Watch
awesome
one
to
day,
see.
yeah. And I'll find Sprout. We'll do that one day. So anyway, that guy that you're talking about, there's my Eddie Carbone right there. That was a view from the bridge. He's the Italian guy from Red Hook, Brooklyn.
You
That's
could
the
have
general. That's the mean general.
You
And-
could have been on The Sopranos with that last look.
Yeah.
I don't know. They missed your casting
Do
call.
we have time for a story?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Back when The Sopranos was on, because I was the Jersey guy, they did a contest. HBO, like there's a local person in St. Louis that works for HBO. Her name is Jennifer, and she picked me to do this contest. Oh, William's
He's here.
here.
William is here.
Hi, William.
Hi, William.
I don't hear him.
I don't hear him. Why don't I hear him?
Because you-
Plugged in.
Duh.
Duh.
There he is. William, how you
William,
doing?
how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Great to
Great
have
to
you.
have you.
And we love
what you're doing.
First of all,
tell us a little bit about you,
and then we'll get into
Wait
the
just 1 second, because I don't think I'm on that screen yet.
No, hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Wait,
We're in a
one second.
one
weird
second.
situation.
There's like a
There's like a
multi-person
multi-person
Zoom
Zoom call.
We're idiots.
We're idiots.
There's a lot of facts.
I have to pin William.
Where are you?
Where are you?
There he is.
There he is.
All right, we good?
All right, we good?
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on, one more second.
I thought you were in the middle of a story.
Well, I was.
Well, I
and then
was,
you
and then he
showed
showed
up.
up.
Oh,
Finish
sorry,
the story,
I didn't mean
and
to
we'll
show
get
up
this
before my
right.
time.
Do you want
Do
to
you
hear the
want to hear the
story?
story? I'll tell you the story
too,
too, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
Is it a
so
true story?
is it a true
Is it a
story?
true story? Yes.
It's a true story.
Okay.
It's a true story. I have a long career in radio here in St. Louis. I was on the air for like 27 years. I'm originally from New Jersey. So when The Sopranos was on, I was able to do everything because I was from New Jersey. So the local person who worked at HBO here did a contest that I was able to do on my show. Win dinner with The Sopranos. And John Ventimiglia, who was already Bucco, Steve Shrippa, who was Bobby Bacala, and Federico Castelluccio, who was what was his name? His Furio Junta. They were all going to come to town, and you could win sitting down and having dinner with them. So we did the contest, and they all came to town, and I got teamed up with Federico Castelluccio. So we're talking, and every time I interview anybody who's acting or TV or anything, I always have my notes for the interview, and I always say, "Oh, how did this is my acting resume. I don't know how that got there. It's Nothing has ever come from that, by the way. But I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot, William. So. Yeah, no. So we talked and everything, and Christopher Walken's wife was the casting director for The Sopranos. And he says, he goes, hey, give me the resume. I'll send it over to Georgina or Georgia or whatever her name was. And of course, nothing ever happened from that. So during that week, though, it was like Sopranos week on the Big Show. So I got to interview Bobby Buckle, I got to interview Stephen Trippa, and I got to interview Federico Castellucci. And when I interviewed Stephen Trippa, I start talking to him, and he says, wait, you know that raspy voice? Wait, you got to pass the Godfather test. You got to pass the Godfather test before I said, bring it on. He says, when Johnny Ola comes in and meets Michael, what does he ask to drink? I said, and is that? Who doesn't know that? What Italian from New Jersey doesn't know that? So I passed the test, so he did the interview. Then I'm talking to Federico Castellucci, and in the middle of the interview, he stops, and he says, wait. And he says, Vic Porcelli? Vic Porcelli? He goes, oh my God, I used to listen to you on WDHA in New Jersey every morning because he was from Danville, New Jersey, and he used to listen to me. Yeah, to radio. So that was it. It was a boring story, William, but that's the point of this podcast, is for me to come in and tell stories. How you doing?
Did you see me nod off or something?
I did. You noticed a little drool. He's asleep. I bored him to tears. All right, so before we get into the fundraiser, which I'm really excited about, being an actor too, we just had a whole thing about. I do a lot of community theater. In St. Louis, have been for many years, and community theater where we don't get paid.
Right.
So I really appreciate the small theater companies. So, but before we get into that, tell me about you and your background and your history.
Well, acting career. I mean, I have a bunch of careers. I'm a kind of a jack of all trade, master of none.
Right, me too.
But acting career started when my mom put me in a musical at the Webster Groves Theater Guild when I was, I don't know how old, 1972 or so. Deathly afraid of singing on stage.
The second floor thing up there?
I'm sorry?
The second floor that feels like it's going to drop through the rest of the building?
That's right. My father, who went to Williams College, was an actor, was in a show there years and years. He died when I was young, but he did a show there. And and we lived in Webster. So that was they had lots of children's stuff anyway. So my mother put me in South Pacific, and I was terrified and refused to sing. So I ended up in the chorus and danced behind the curtain. So I refused to even be seen. So that put a long hiatus on my acting career. So after college, the Marines in college and a few other things, I came out, was going to UMSL Business School and later SLU, and started hanging out with the theater folks. And so from about 1985 or so, my acting career kind of took off in earnest, mostly interested in stage, got a few, TV gigs here and there, commercials and stuff, but for the most part, just doing stage acting with most theater companies in town. Most notably, the long stint with the Orthwine Theater Company, which was a professional theater company that used the facilities out at MICDS, and we put on plays there on their main stage, Orthwine stage, and their black box. So kind of parallel professional careers too. I've run a small marketing graphic design firm, and St. Louis Actors Studio stemmed out of the fact that I needed an office space. And looking around the West End, where I've lived most of my life, I found a building in Gaslight Square, rehabbed it, had much more room than I needed for my graphic design business. And lo and behold, we opened what is now 14 years later, the Gaslight Theater, a 99-seat venue. And I started at the same time the St. Louis Actors Studio. So we've been at it for 14 years or so, and then the adjacent West End Grill and Pub. So we've got a restaurant, a venue, and a theater company, and a marketing firm, all kind of into about 16,000 square feet on Boyle in the West End.
All right, so you've done so many more things than I've done, no doubt. So let me mention a couple things that I was in, and maybe if you were in them, and to see if we've ever done the same play. Is that fair?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I was the narrator in Into the Woods twice.
If it's a musical, other than the traumatic experience that I told you about it at Webster Groves Theater Guild, I was not into it because I've never been.
I'm sorry. I should have mentioned before I started, I am the master of the non-singing role.
Oh, nice.
In musicals. Yeah. So I was a narrator in Into the Woods. Straight play I was in was A View from the Bridge, Arthur Miller's A View from the Bridge.
Love the show, seen it a million times, have not been lucky enough to be in it, but it is one of my favorite plays.
That was the biggest role I ever had. I mean, when you get your little script book, hold on. This
when you go in and you highlight the lines,
Right.
your lines with a highlighter. Well, when I was Eddie Carbone, I would flip through the script and like every page was all yellow. I mean, it was the most lines I ever had.
Brutal.
I loved it though.
How'd you do? Did you learn them all?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Well, first of all, Italian from New Jersey, you know, Red Hook, Brooklyn, Italian, piece of cake. Piece of cake is what it was. So we were, my friend and I, Todd and I just did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest together.
Mm-hmm. We're going to produce that at the American Theater downtown, but a few things fell through there. But we have not been able to do that one yet either.
I was just one of the Washington. I was Washington.
Oh, you were one of the aides.
Yeah, one of the aides. And Todd was R.P. McMurphy, though. He was, I mean, he was great. I was also in The Odd Couple with him. I was in The Odd Couple twice. I was Speed in The Odd Couple. Did you ever do The Odd Couple?
Nope, haven't done The Odd Couple.
Yeah. So that's it, I guess, for straight plays and stuff. Mostly, you know, the non-singing roles and musicals and everything. But anyway, enough about me. Oh, what's this? My acting resume here. Take that with you when you go.
I will.
So let's talk about the St. Louis Actors Studio Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund. I love this because COVID has hit everybody. And by the way, we're doing this podcast from the Next Core studio, which is at Gravois and Jefferson. And this is all about small business. This entire company is about small businesses and helping small businesses. And that's what you're doing, helping the small theater companies survive this crazy COVID thing that has messed up all of our lives. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, the fundraiser and some of the cool people you can have a Zoom meeting with if you're lucky enough to win.
Right. Well, running a few small businesses, not just the Actors Studio not-for-profit, there were resources out there from the federal government and the local governments and various places for restaurants and the graphic design studio, but there's nothing for not-for-profits and for the arts really that I can find. We were notified almost immediately from our regular funding sources that we would those sources. Because of reduced taxes coming in from COVID, that they would be greatly reduced or not, we wouldn't have them at all. And a lot of times, even if they were full funding, you have to put on a show to get them. They don't just give it to you. So things were looking pretty dire for St. Louis Actors Studio. So through the years, I've always felt that it never hurts to ask. And so I've gotten some pretty positive responses from some pretty impressive artists over the years, and thought that, you know, I'm sitting around doing nothing, and thought to myself, well, I'll bet with the response you generally get, like Cuckoo's Nest, I reached out to John Hamm then to see if I could get him to play McMurphy. And
wow,
when there are full employment and no COVID, you have willing artists for the most part that are certainly willing to consider an artistic opportunity, no matter how big or small. But you've got agents and other folks that are like, no way, we're not letting anybody leave, and for good reason. TV,
sure, of course,
well, and you got to be at their beck and call. And the last thing you want to do is go, what? John's doing a play in St. Louis and he can't do this movie tomorrow. So, but anyway, still I've had good success talking to folks. And so it seemed to me that COVID was going to put the kibosh on that. And I thought, well, I've raised money for the arts over the years, and it's a small audience out there that has the ability or the willingness to support the arts, but everybody loves a movie star. And I knew that there were a bunch of them from St. Louis. And so I thought, you know, if the fundraiser was something that gives some money and get a chance to do a Zoom meeting, these Zoom one-on-ones are more intimate really than any other chance you might get to learn from or meet with a celebrity. You might spend a couple $100 to go to a fundraiser, but then you're in a room full of folks and you might get 2 seconds as you wait in line to say,
shake hands, picture, and get out.
I'm your biggest fan. Right. And so it occurred to me that, and we have some connections with a few folks. And so I was in a play at, this isn't the reason why he said yes, but the further connection with John was that we were both in a play at Orthwine Theater Company back in the day. And before he left town and made it big. And Wayne Solomon is on our staff here at St. Louis Actors Studio, the longtime ran the theater at John Burroughs School and was John's mentor and teacher there. And they were very good friends. So that's how it began, reaching out, the two of us, to him. He immediately said yes to the idea.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And then Sterling K. Brown again, at Orthwine Theater, was at MICDS, and he was a student there. He was in our production of Hamlet and other things. And
Wow.
Michael Hogan, who's a good friend of mine and a actor that's done many things here at the studio. His mom is on the board, and he's done many successful shows here for us in St. Louis or New York. Was a classmate of him and a pal. So he helped me reach out to Sterling, and he said yes as well. We have a long.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So, and the others fell into place. Bo Willimon, who's a Burroughs grad, we did his show, The Ides of March. Actually, Farragut North is the name of the play, but it was made into the George Clooney movie, The Ides of March. He came out for that, so we got to know him. He said yes. Neil LaBute, for 8 or 9 years, has been a friend of mine, and we do a one-act festival here that bears his name, in which he writes original works for us, and we take submissions from high school and professional playwrights and put those plays on in the summer, and in New York in the winter when we can. He said yes, of course, because we've had an ongoing friendship and relationship. Corey Finley, another local St. Louisan, who's a writer, director. His first movie, Thoroughbreds, won awards and got him his latest stint was he directed Bad Education for HBO. He wrote a play called The Feast, which we produced 2 years ago, and he came into that. So we had this breadth of artists now that I think could appeal to writers and directors and just fans. And so I put together the idea that for $75 donation, you get a chance to, or 50 chances actually, to get this 20-minute Zoom meeting with one of this Zoom hangout with one of these guys, randomly selected, so you can't pile up on one as opposed to the other. And it's been great so far.
You know, there's so much incredible talent in St. Louis. I mean, and you see people on the big stage, so to speak, like John and like Sterling, and there's so many others right now. I don't mean like, Vincent Price. I mean, people who are from St. Louis right now making it big. I mean, there's so much talent in this town. Like I told you, I've done a bunch of community theater, and Todd McCauley, who I did Odd Couple and Grease. He was Sonny Lettieri. I was Vince Fontaine. Odd Couple. He is an amazing talent that everybody wants to work with. Right. I can't think of her name now, but there was a girl who. Do you know the Arts for Life organization, and they do an Arts for Life award show every year?
Right.
I hosted that for like 8 years in a row, and I can't think of her name, but she did cabaret at one of these shows, and I came back to the microphone and I'm like, why is she not on Broadway? I mean, she truly was that good. But speak a little bit about the talent known and or unknown in St. Louis that's going almost wasted because not enough people are seeing them.
Right. Well, it's never a waste. The 2 hours in a theater is never a waste. But we have, I've been doing this for a while, and it's 15, 20 years ago, there were a handful of talented artists doing it for each other in church basements without much of a patronage. So fast forward to now or pre-COVID, there's a lot of very successful theater companies in town. There are actors now that go through the conservatory and actually think about and do stay in St. Louis, because it used to always be, I got to go to LA, got to go to New York. It's certainly far more opportunity here than there ever was. It used to be that if you got your equity card, it was the kiss of death. You never got cast again because you were union. Now, just about everybody is in the EMT program or working towards getting their equity status. And that was, like I said, unheard of before. And there are, there is, if you just look it up, if you go see any play, you'll see the talent. And after 15 years of producing here in New York, New York and the other big cities have nothing on us. I mean, I
agree
here is every bit as good, both artistically. I mean, there's set designs and executions to the lighting designs, to the choreography, to the talent. And then there's the bigger one, the Muni. Obviously, it speaks for itself, and the Rep. All of those are class act organizations. And so
I'm glad you brought up set designs, because I did a lot of shows with Curtain Call Theater Company, which we were in Faust Park,
You know, the Carousel House at Fowles
Yep.
Park.
Sure.
The little room there where the kids have the birthday parties, that was our space. You know, we built the stage, we had cabaret seating, and we did great musicals there. So we did Into the Woods there, and Jim Orlando was our set designer.
Yep.
And I was amazed at what he did with just styrofoam and, you know, just thin wood and paint. And I was like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest sets I've ever seen. And there's 20 people here seeing it. There wasn't enough people to see it, you know?
Right. Yeah. The technical directors we have in town and the scenic artists that are able to paint murals and paint things that look like wood or stone or tile, I mean, and build complete kitchens, it's amazing, and on a budget. I mean, none of us have a bunch of money to execute these things. And Patrick Huber has been designing our sets for us from day one, and our space is it's a store for converted storefront, so it's narrow and tall, and because it's 2 stories of stage, and it is amazing every time what he does in that space.
That's great. All right. So how do people get involved? How do people donate? Give us a website. Give us how people can get in touch with this great fundraising effort you got going on.
Well, I was lucky enough that all of the celebs did selfie videos for me. So you'll see those all over Facebook. So if you don't have a pencil to write this down, just find us on Facebook and you'll find John or Sterling or Bo or Neil or Corey or Sam McMurray. I don't want to leave him out. A great talent and a good friend of the studios, who was in Raising Arizona and Freaks and Geeks and Friends and a bunch of other things. A great guy. Anyway, on our website, stlas.org/sustain is where you can find just about everything. It's also on our homepage. You'll see down at the bottom, Sterling and John. Click on that. It'll get you in the right direction. We
will definitely put links up to that and the Facebook site too. So people can get on there and see those videos. You know, I grew up in New Jersey. You know, Italian. Everybody in New Jersey is Italian. You know, and I only had one way of life, which was the Italian way, and there wasn't a lot of opportunity to do anything artistic or dramatic or, you know, arts related. You know, I mean, you played stickball in the street. Basically, that was our entertainment, and came to St. Louis and started to, I was just telling the story before you got on, I auditioned for Into the Woods to be the narrator, non-singing role. And my friend went there and I was like, I'm afraid to do this. I can't do this. He goes, just come in. It's not gonna be a big deal. Just do it. So I auditioned and I got the part. And then if you can explain to people that acting bug that hits you, once you do it and you love it, you can't stop. Am I right, William?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the thrill of being on stage with other artists and being in character and watching how the audience reacts and the feedback that you get from them in the moment is like crack, man. It keeps you high for sure.
And I want to say too that community theater where nobody's getting paid. I love also the camaraderie and help that happens backstage that you don't see. We did at Curtain Call at Fowles Park. We did Jekyll and Hyde, and it was the only community theater play I was in where we did it for 3 weekends. That's how popular it was. Usually you do the 2 weekends and you're done. So my friend Mary, who I was in a ton of stuff with, she was the first to die. And they put her in this tight dress. And when Mr. Hyde kills her, she can't get up. She looks like a fish in the boat. She's like flapping around. And I had an entrance right after that. I said, Mary, I'm right here. You know, if you need, just crawl to me and I'll get you up and I'll get you off stage. You know, I was in 20th Century, the play that all happens on the train, right, with Todd, and he has to shoot somebody and then he has to get rid of the gun. Now that set, right, is the stage, and then behind it, it's a train, right? So you got like the windows, so there really is no back that you can hide behind. So I had to bend down so nobody could see me. I would reach across and Todd would hand me the gun and then I would take it and I'd put it on the prop table. I was Into the Woods, and you know, at the end of Last Midnight, Kay Love was the witch and the smoke came
and she had to run off stage. And one night she tripped over one of the pieces of wood. I said, Kay, I'm right here. Just close your eyes and run. I'll be right here. Just run right into my arms. But you know what I mean? That's stuff that you don't see. It's stuff that doesn't happen in professional theater, really. That's the community theater camaraderie that I love.
Well, you know, it does happen in professional theater. We were in doing a production of August Osage County, and one of our actor in the opening scene, and he's only in the opening scene because that character commits suicide later on, had a stroke on stage. One of those mild strokes, but he was wandering, and an actress makes an exit right next to me and says, "Something's wrong with Larry." And so I had to go on in my scene. And anyway, so indeed he did have one, and came back 3 days later. But we got another actor to fill in for 2 days. We were doing Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. In the middle of a scene, I was playing George, and the fire alarm went off, and I was the only one who knew how to turn it off. So we had to stop what we were doing, turn off the alarm, and then come right back into the scene, which the audience enjoyed. But yeah, there's live theater prevents its opportunities for sure.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I haven't done one in a while. The last thing I did was Cuckoo's Nest with Todd. But you know, I always wanted to. Hey, and if you got an in for me, William, let me know. A mafia guy. I want to be a mafia guy. You know, Sunday was Made Man Sunday on AMC. I watched Godfather, Godfather 2, and Goodfellas all day. All I did was watch mafia stuff. And
Once Upon a Time in America, that's another one.
I don't know. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. So anyway, I just, you know, it's like the greatest thing about acting is, and I guess the real true measure of acting is being somebody that you're not.
Right.
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 So we did the Scarlet Pimpernel years ago, and you know the play, right?
Yep.
So we had to save the Pimpernel's girlfriend, whatever she was, and go to France, but we had to be disguised as, the script says, fops, you know. Right. And so I got to be flamboyantly gay for 2 hours every night. And it was just so much fun. I mean, when you literally turn into somebody else for a couple hours a night.
Right. Yep.
It's great. William Roth is who we're talking to. St. Louis Actors Studio Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund is what we're talking about. Raising money to help small professional theater companies in St. Louis, which, how many are there, by the way, William? How many small professional theater companies are there?
More than 30 for sure. It depends on how you count them and how they what they use to call themselves small professional theaters. So we are, and it's modeled after, we have a contract and arrangement with Actors Equity, which designates us a small professional theater. And what it means generally is the number of union actors. We have a full-time union stage manager, and then depending on the size of the cast, there's a dictated number of union actors that must be cast.
At the website stlas.org/sustain.
Right.
For $75 that you donate, you have a chance to have a Zoom meeting with all the people that William mentioned. You back?
Yeah, 50 chances actually. Right. So
how does that work? Tell me how that works.
Well, so basically we as you donate, we keep track of who you are, and you're on a list from 1 to however many there are. If you give 75, you get 50. If you give 150, you get 100. So depending on how much you give, we then we actually assign a number to your name. And then we throw those numbers of that number into the hat, and then randomly select in September, we'll randomly select the artist who goes first and then pull a name out. And when Vic Porcelli wins a Zoom meeting with John Hamm, then both John and Vic are done. And then we go on through the list until all the celebrities and all the artists are spoken for.
That's an awesome prize. How is it going so far? Is it going well, or are you getting a lot of donations? Are you making money for these small theater companies?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I mean, and it'll see how significant it'll be in the end. But I'm hoping I'm not ready to announce it yet, but it looks like because of our leading artists that we're going to get some significant national press here in the next week or so, and that will really, I think, send things off and do the most good.
Fantastic. You know, I watched John. I'm a big poker fan, William, and just recently, John was in an online celebrity poker tournament with Kevin Pollak,
Uh-huh.
and
He has a good
I
chat.
can't- yeah. Oh my God, he does the best. Do we agree he does the best, Christopher Walken, of anybody?
Definitely. Definitely.
I can't. There's an NBA player. I can't think of who else, but anyway, John didn't do well, but we were rooting for him. We were rooting for him to do well. It was an online thing too. It was really kind of cool. Had there not been COVID, they all would have been around the poker table looking at the pocket cam and stuff.
Right.
And he went to Burroughs. Sterling went to MICDS. Am I right? Did Joe Buck go there?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. Joe was a big friend and help to our morning show when we did mornings back in the day. And they did an HBO special on him, you know, because his career has been outstanding, obviously. And he says, yeah, you know, I never went to school. I would call in, my mother would call me in sick, but I wasn't sick. I was at the ballpark with my dad, you know. And he said, well, he says, Mr. Johnson, if I could apologize to you, I would. So we found Mr. Johnson, or whatever his name was, had him on the phone, then had Joe on the phone. And we said, Joe, remember when you said, here, you can apologize and everything.
Oh, nice.
He was just fun. Do you remember when So Taguchi was on the Cardinals?
Sure. Yeah, with his big fur coats.
Yeah. We used to say, he is so Taguchi. We used to say that for fun, you know. So we were talking to Joe one time, and we said, Joe, is there any way on the Saturday broadcast, like the national broadcast, can you say so Taguchi? He goes, I'll see what I can do. And sure enough, something happened. He goes, that was so Taguchi. I was like, yeah. I mean, you had to listen to us to know that he did it for us. But anyway, he was just a great guy, and I love his career. And he, for some reason, there's this hate for Joe Buck going on Twitter that I hate, because I think he is just a great announcer and a great human being.
Right. I don't know what those things pop up for one reason or another, and there's nothing to them really. I think it's just more fad and fun than. Not fun for him, but yeah, it's not founded in any way. Certainly Joe we're lucky to have Joe and his ties to St. Louis.
He's always doing a charity thing. He's always helping people, always, you know,
always.
like his dad always did. Jack was always helping people, you know?
Yep.
Crazy. All right, William Roth, let's go through everything again, just so people know. I mean, we will put this up. This interview will go up on our site, and we'll also put all the links, but it's stlas.org/sustain. You can donate $75, and well, we're coming up on this. September 17th is going to be the drawing, and you could win a 20-minute Zoom meeting with John Hamm, Sterling Brown. Actually, go through all the names for us again, William, would you?
John Hamm, Sterling Brown, Corey Finley, Neil LaBute, Bo Willimon, and Sam McMurray.
All right, great. It's been great to meet you. I can't believe I haven't run into you throughout all these years. We both have a love for theater and a love for acting, but great to meet you. If you ever need a mafia guy, give me a call, will you?
Well, we just need to be able to open up and put on anything, but maybe the first show back will be the Vic Porcelli as the mafia guy.
That's a great play. Have you ever seen that play? Awesome play. All right, William, great to talk to you. Good luck with this fundraiser. I'm glad you're helping people out and giving people a chance to sit down and have a Zoom with the likes of these great actors. So
yeah, well, thank you for helping us promote it. We really appreciate it.
And let's have you back on once COVID goes away and we start doing acting again. Let us know what's going on, and we'll promote plays and theater. We're here to help.
Great, thank you. I will.
All right, good to see you, man. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks.
All right. William Roth, who is raising money for small theater companies here in St. Louis. And again, you could sit down and have a 20-minute Zoom meeting with John Hamm or Sterling K. Brown or the other actors, Bo Willimon, Corey Finley. So get on the website and be sure you put in your 50 entries, okay? And be sure you visit the sites too, because if you like theater, this is where you got to go, the St. Louis Actors Studio. And once again, the whole project is called St. Louis Actors Studio Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund, which we turned
nice
totally. I'm sorry, what?
A nice, short, concise title.
Yes, that's okay. You know what? It's fine. It's perfect. St. Louis Actor Studio Small Professional Theater Sustainment Fund. Yeah, maybe we need an acronym or something for that. Maybe that would help. All right, great. William Roth, great to have him on the show. We'll have him on again.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good to see you. Take care.
Bye, William.
It was great. He was great. At my bounds, but I invited him back for anything else he'd like to talk about acting. We did not get to Jen some of the comments and
Yeah, I think that's where we're at now.
answer to our question about.
Sorry, we have sound again.
Here we go. What is your favorite play, musical or straight play? And first one to respond, Tom Kopp, who says his favorite play is Glengarry Glen Ross. He loves David Mamet. If Tom Kopp could have a 20-minute Zoom with David Mamet, he would donate $1 million if he had it. And The Real Thing by Stoppard. Never had a chance to act in or direct either. His favorite musical is Les Mis or Sunday in the Park with George. Now, Tom directed me in A View from the Bridge. And Tom is an awesome director, and he is a big lover of the long, awkward pause for drama's sake. And he made me, there was one, I said a line, and then my back is to the audience, and I have my hands up on the doorway of the apartment. And I put my hands up there for a couple of seconds, turned around, and I goes, no, longer. Do it longer. Okay. It was so awkwardly long, but it really did build the drama. He knew what he was doing.
It always feels longer to yourself, I think, than to the audience.
Sarah DeBerkey likes Beauty and the Beast. Oh, she was in Beauty and the Beast with my kids.
Oh, how cool.
I think they all three were in that, actually. Chris played.
What was he?
Chris was one of the townspeople.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of see him as the candlestick, but who knows?
Wait a minute. I got to plug in over here so I can hear you. I took this plug out so I
Oh,
can
right.
hear
Yeah,
William.
the Zoom switch is an awkward one.
We'll figure it out. You know what?
Probably
We'll
should
figure
have
it out.
played a promo in between.
It's a work in progress. We're fine. Rob likes Hairspray. Janet likes Noises Off. Have you ever seen Noises Off?
I have not.
Noises Off is a play within a play. The people in the play are in a play. So, and when I saw it at the Rep, they had a revolving stage. So you see the front of the stage, so you're like in the audience, and then it turns, and then you're backstage at the play where everybody
that's
hates
cool.
each other, everybody wants to kill each other. It is the funniest thing ever. So Noises Off. Patrick Wheatley, love him. I was in the Full Monty with Patrick. We did the Full Monty at Faust Park. He liked Glengarry Glen Ross. Of Mice and Men, yeah. Matt likes Hairspray. Jennifer Cernka likes Wicked, who doesn't? Michael Berger likes Rent, followed by Hamilton. Todd Showalter likes Harvey. Wow, Todd was in Harvey twice. Come on, Harvey. Andrew Brown likes West Side Story. Danny Balsamo, Into the Woods. Way to go, Dan. Becky Bowen-Price likes Wicked. Steve Paul likes Chorus Line. And Steve Raven likes Wicked.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between Wicked and Into the Woods?
Well, it's two completely different plays.
Well, besides that.
Okay. So Wicked we talked about, Into the Woods we talked about is Cinderella, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and Little Red Riding Hood and all that. Wicked is the story of the Wizard of Oz before Dorothy dropped in.
Okay.
So the Wicked Witch of the West, she has a name.
I see.
Her name is Elphaba. And she's named Elphaba because the person who wrote the story, the book's name is L. Frank Baum. Elphaba. L. Frank Baum. Isn't that right?
Interesting.
Yeah. And the music is awesome. Stephen Schwartz did the music. It's my wife's, not only is it her favorite musical, it's the only musical. It's the musical by which all others should be measured as far as she goes. And we've seen it on Broadway together. We went in January, right before COVID, by the way, to go see Wicked on Broadway, which was awesome. We've seen it at the Fox about 1,000 times. And that's the difference.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. Both witches, though. I
I was always kind of confused
Yeah,
by.
there's witches in both of them for sure.
I thought William Roth was awesome. It was great to have him on. And if you would like to try to meet any of those people, feel free. Hey, you don't happen to have the pictures I sent you of me with the axe in me?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, can we get those up or not?
Look at it. Look at that. Timed. Ready to go.
Okay, hold on. I
Still
want
have
to.
to. I'm ahead of you this time.
You are. I want to give Nathan a shout because
This wasn't a play, correct? This was a small.
This was a short film.
film.
Called Lissy Borden Had an Axe. And it's called Lissy Borden because in the storyline for this, Lissy's father had a new wife that she didn't like. And so she killed her, obviously, but she had a lisp. So when she said Lissy, it was Lippy. So that's why they named her Lissy instead of Lizzie. Lizzie would be easy to say even if you have a... So, all right, so there we go. Are these on the air? Are these in the show?
Yes,
Okay.
we're live.
So I played Lissy's father, who of course gets 40 whacks as well, right? The father got 40, the mother got 40, right? Lizzie Borden had an axe,
Okay.
gave his mother 40 whack, gave her mother 40 whacks, and the father got 42. Anyway,
Is this based off like a parable or a kid's nursery
it's a
rhyme?
yeah.
They were horrible.
The Grimm brothers.
I mean, what kind of stories?
Let me tell you, and I learned this in Into the Woods. Cinderella, the two stepsisters. Remember, she leaves the slipper behind, obviously?
Yes.
And the prince comes to the house and wants to find the foot that fits the golden slipper. Well, they try it on the two stepsisters and it doesn't fit. So the mother cuts off her toes so it does fit.
Yeah, in the original version.
Right, and then the other one, she cuts off her heel. So the Grimm brothers were terrible. That's why the
Terribly.
Addams family loved them so much. It's true. So Lizzie kills me with the axe, and there I am dead. That's Nathan on the right, Emily on the left. They did all the makeup and everything. And I had to, see that pose right there? I had to be like that for hours
Oh gosh.
to make sure the camera was right, to make sure this was right, and that was right. If I moved, the axe would have fell
I
out.
was gonna say, I imagine you can't be running around willy-nilly with that axe.
Right. I mean, that's not
Stuck
really...
to your chest. It's
Yeah.
not really embedded in your chest. It's just on the outside.
And
With what, glue?
glue, and you know, they had to make, see how it goes through the skin right there? They had to make that skin and make it look open.
Yeah.
So...
Did you have to shave your chest for this?
No.
They just all applied.
A shirt, and then
Just a shirt, okay.
undershirt, and then over the undershirt was all the...
So it all stuck to the fabric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't have, I mean, it really wasn't an inconvenience, except I had to sit there with an axe in my chest.
Was it heavy, like a real axe?
No,
or was
no,
it-
that's a real axe.
Okay.
That's a real axe, and it's heavy. And yes, it was very uncomfortable. And a matter of fact, on the Facebook page for Lizzie Borden Had an Axe, they thanked me for just being patient and sitting there, you know, for hours, literally for hours with it. And I couldn't go out and smoke. I couldn't do anything. I was
Oh
just
my
sitting there. I was
gosh.
stuck. So that guy on the right there is Nathan Shelton, who did the makeup. He is a makeup extraordinaire. He worked on the movie Winter's Bone that Jennifer Lawrence was in. So he's got a pretty good resume.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So there's that. And he also does a really cool thing called Frightmare Theater. I would like to plug, if that's okay.
Yes.
The Frightmare Theater podcast, where, you know, radio back in the day wasn't just, you know, the DJ playing all the hits. It was theater. It was drama, you know. And like the Inner Sanctum was one, The Shadow. There were comedy shows. And this is like horror shows for audio podcast. So it's pretty neat. They haven't asked me to be in one yet.
Well, maybe you need to send him a message.
Whatever. I'm done pitching myself today. I pitched William Roth the entire interview. If you need a mafia guy, let me know.
I'm your guy.
I'm your mafia guy. And he's funny. He goes, I said, you know, at the end of the interview, I said, if you need somebody to be like a mafia guy, he goes, well, you know, when this COVID thing is over, maybe we'll do the play. Vic Porcelli's a mafia guy.
They should do like a Zoom play
Zoom play.
where everybody has their own windows.
I was immediately intrigued. However, the Zoom has that level of delay that I don't know if it would work.
Well, you have to practice.
Oh, yeah.
But as you put it, everybody could get in their little box and recite their lines
Right.
in their costumes. They
Right.
could change the backgrounds.
It's true. You could be anywhere with the backgrounds and
We should try a little. We should try some scenes.
Hey, I'm in.
Okay.
I will pick some scenes from plays.
And I'll put together a couple backgrounds.
So you'll have to be in it.
Of course.
Obviously,
yeah.
okay. So I'll find plays that are a man and a woman. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Or until we can get some more people. We've got Rick. I'm sure Rick would be on board.
Mm-hmm.
And a few other acting characters. Sooner or later, the rest of the next core team will get back in town.
Yeah.
And
When is that?
Well, we went live with them last night. They were in Memphis, outside of the Redbird Stadium.
Oh, that Redbird Stadium.
Yes.
I got it now. I saw the video, and I was like, "Are they stupid? Why are they not calling it Busch Stadium?" You know what I mean?
No, they're in Memphis.
Memphis AAA.
Yes.
The Cardinals AAA team is in Memphis.
So I believe that they'll be back soon. So maybe there'll be some actors for us with the next core team.
Can we put a link for Nathan's Frightmare Theater on our page?
Yes.
Okay.
On our page or
Whatever.
Where is that?
You want me to send it to you?
Sure.
On
I'll pull
Facebook?
it up right now.
Okay. Send it to you on Facebook. Hang in there.
And we're Facebooking.
That's the link to Frightmare Theater.
Dang.
That's me. That's from me. Rick Price just commented on something. I was wondering what Rick Price has to say.
To add, I'm getting so many dating app messages today. It's really not helping me out with the notifications.
Rick likes guys and dolls. I just want to
Guys
say.
and dolls. You know what I saw that was cool was Miss Saigon.
Is that the one with the helicopter?
Yeah, and it was in Fox, and there was an actual helicopter that
it amazing?
came swirling down.
I've never seen it, but I heard it's great.
I can't remember the details.
Phantom of the Opera has a thing like that too, doesn't it? Where the chandelier falls and you feel like you're gonna die if you're sitting under it. Oh, that picture right there. Is that on? Is this on the air here?
Yes.
That picture is me and my daughter, Marielle. We were in Sound of Music together. I was Captain Von Trapp, worst Captain Von Trapp in the history of Captain Von Trapps, and she was Liesel. And that's when the Nazis are coming to arrest us and take us away.
This is the podcast.
That's the Frightmare Theater podcast.
So how does this work? You can join?
I guess, I don't know.
And how often do they broadcast?
I think once a week, maybe, possibly. Not sure.
Can we watch this video?
If you'd like. I'm all for giving Nathan a plug. I love Nathan.
We got some
Good
time
dude.
to kill.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, boys and ghouls, and welcome to Frightmare Theater. Nathan Shelton here, the creator of Frightmare Theater, and I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by our Patreon page. We are very blessed to have a lot of supporters out there, and we hope that you will join us on this Patreon in order to help us produce the kind of quality that we want to see and that you want to see in our horror radio theater podcast.
Frightmare Theater is an audio experience.
They do the music and everything, right?
Love it.
We wanted to do something a little different and go back to the early days of radio. A lot of us were fans of old horror radio shows. I myself, I listen to them every Halloween, and it really gets me in the Halloween spirit. And I've always been a fan of horror anthology movies and TV shows, things like Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Tales from the Crypt, and movies like Creepshow. Producing a podcast of this quality is not easy and it's not cheap, and we really need help. And that's where you come in. By donating to this, you can be a part of the Frightmare Theater family and get extra special tidbits behind the scenes in the crypt as we're shooting, as we're recording these episodes. We'll have special personalized content available, we'll have scripts available, and all sorts of other spooky little goodies for you. So we humbly invite you to join us and be a part of the Frightmare Theater team and helping us produce this amazing project.
There you go, Frightmare Theater.
There it is. So this
And now,
nice
Royal
segue
it's time now.
into the Twilight highlight.
Oh,
You feel
by the way,
up for
before we
that?
get there, Nathan put us on his Friends from the Grave page on his website.
Oh, cool.
So they got a link to our show.
Sweet.
up
We'll
on
link to your show.
Thank you, Nathan.
I'm gonna check it out too. That sounds fun. And
It's fun.
Halloween is just around the corner.
Yes, it is. Time to get scared. Time to get the boogers scared
I
out of
have
us.
so many costumes at home. Halloween should be fun.
Are you a big Halloween person?
You know, the whole going out and outside at night is not my favorite thing to do, but I do love dressing up. And so
Who doesn't?
Halloween's always kind of fun.
Two things about Halloween. One thing is, our kids, when you have kids and they grow up, and we tell them, don't take candy from strangers, except on Halloween. Go take candy from all the strangers you can find. And the other thing is, when I was young, I had a mustache. And do you remember the character Father Guido Sarducci from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
I was Father Guido Sarducci. Can you see it now? Perfect, right? I had the long robe, I guess. I'm sorry, priests and religious people, I don't know what it's called. The long robe, and I would have the black hat and the sunglasses, and I looked exactly like Father Guido Sarducci. And I went, my wife and I went to a costume party. I was Father Guido Sarducci, and she was a, I think we actually argue on this, my wife and I. I thought she was just a nun with like a slit up the skirt, but she thought, she remembers it as being a pregnant nun, which is funny.
Well, yeah, with the robes. You can't tell.
Right.
Oh, but she had a slit.
Well, I thought she was just a sexy nun. She insists she was pregnant nun.
She was a sexy nun. Now she's a pregnant nun. Those are the consequences.
Right. So anyway, that's that. So what do you want to do? Oh, Twilight Zone. Okay, I really feel like I'm going to disappoint some people because, again, I'm not an expert. I'm just a big fan. But go ahead. What do you got?
Okay, well, I don't have my narrative open.
Oh, no!
Fine. Well, you stall for a minute.
I
I'll
love
find
the...
it.
Okay,
'Cause
so
I'll definitely wanna read
we
that
started
again.
talking about the Twilight Zone. And I am a fan of the Twilight Zone. I am not an expert on the Twilight Zone. My son is an expert on the Twilight Zone, and he would ace all these. I am one for one with Where Is Everybody? And it depends upon where you go. And I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me correctly, if you go in order, episode number 2, I should nail that one.
Yes, episode number 2 is the first original one we talked about last time. And then this will be the second ever. The first one was the pilot.
Right.
And now the
Right.
second episode of almost any season is always the best, in my opinion.
Well, is it One for the Angels?
Yes.
Okay. I'm ready for One for the Angels.
Okay, I'm not ready.
We don't have to do the opening. I mean, I will if, okay. So William Roth joined us, and you could have a 20-minute Zoom meeting with John Hamm or Sterling K. Brown. And you know, one thing that William and I talked about was the amount of talent coming out of St. Louis. There are a ton of people who are in movies, TV shows that are from St. Louis. We got a bunch of talent here. John Hamm, Sterling K. Brown, Sam McMurray, Corey Finley, Bo Wilmon, Neil LaBute, by the way.
LaBute.
Any of those people. So $75, and you can get an entry to meet any of those people. Please go check that out. STLA, I know I'd screw that up. STLAS.org is the name of is the website for St. Louis Actors Studio. Okay, so are you ready?
I'm sorry, the internet is so slow.
We don't have to be ready.
Okay.
My wife says the microphone and the like lips are moving, and then here it's like a Godzilla movie, I think.
Okay, well that's a whole other issue.
That's another issue that we're not going to worry about right now. As long as you can hear it, close your eyes and you can hear it.
Well,
Chris Zadwoski likes Fiddler on the Roof. Who doesn't?
Fiddler on the Roof.
Have you ever seen Fiddler on the Roof?
I think so, as like a movie.
Tradition.
How's that, Jessica? Is that better?
Is that better, Jess?
Are we synced up now?
Hold on, let me get to her.
I want to thank NextCore for letting us.
Thank you,
do
NextCore,
this
for letting us
every-
waste everyone's time with this 2-hour podcast. Jim
God.
and Larry do a great job here, and you know what? We got to meet some of the people who are members here.
How'd that go? Are we going to have them as guests soon?
Yeah, the guy's a scream.
I was hoping we'd get him on the schedule for next week.
Here's the only problem. He does impressions of people we don't know. He does impressions of his mother-in-law and a math teacher in 8th
Well,
grade.
hey, you know how that sometimes works out okay.
And I said, well, that's great. I said, but how would we know how good your impersonation is? We haven't heard him. And I'm not sure he got it. But he's a good guy. And his wife, we met out here, and I forget both of their names because I'm such an ass, and I
Kate?
apologize. I don't remember at all. I wouldn't even be able to say, oh, yeah, that's it. So,
I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm not going to speculate.
it's all good.
I think I might be failing here.
It's okay. Let's just go.
It's like the longer we broadcast, the worse the internet is.
I agree. Yesterday's show was starting to...
So yeah, it kind of makes me think. All right, I've got it.
All right,
I've
here we
got
go.
it. So let's just start up the Twilight highlight intro.
You got to go across the room. Like this. It's all in the meter and the pack.
All right, we'll do this one. There is a seventh dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as Facebook, as timeless as Twitter. It is the middle ground between light and microphone, between a man's grasp on his social media reach, between technology and long division, between the mic in your ears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of Vic's notion. It is in that area that we might be called the Twilight highlight.
I gotta help you with that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go back to the script so I can see the script? I just want to help you. Okay,
Here
ready?
we go.
So, when you do Rod Serling, it's all in the cadence. There's a seventh dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It's the dimension as vast as Facebook and as timeless as Twitter. You got it? So
Yes.
you go up a little bit and then down.
Timeless is Twitter.
Timeless as Twitter. Okay. So the next one is.
All right, so one for the angels.
Okay. I'm so glad you picked one that I not only know, I know a lot about it, and it's very near and dear to my heart because it's my son's favorite Twilight Zone episode. He was so moved by it. Chris is a gamer. Do you know Cuphead? Do you know the game Cuphead?
I can't say that I do.
It's a video game based on 1930s cartoons, so all the characters kind of walking down like this. But he's like, I don't know, 16th in the world or something in speed runs and that. But anyway, his gamer name on everything he plays is One for the Angels.
Of course.
That's kind of his online persona, is One for the Angels. So Ed Wynn is a salesman who always does a great pitch, right? Pitches you on these ties. Look, the silk comes all the way from Japan. You got the, the little table that they would open up back in the day. They'd open up a table and be all the ties and try to sell ties to people walking by. And he always wanted to do the greatest pitch ever, One for the Angels, right? So, and Ed Wynn, by the way, have you ever seen, I think it's Mary Poppins
Okay.
with Julie Andrews? And the guy that's floating on the ceiling? That's Ed Wynn.
Okay.
Anyway, so much for that reference.
Take your word for it.
Yeah. So, there's this little girl who lives in the neighborhood, and she is sick, right? And is she sick or does she get hit by a car? Something happens to her where she's in danger of dying. Meanwhile, the angel of death shows up for Ed Wynn's character, right? And Ed Wynn's character is called Bookman. And the angel of death will go, "It's your time, Mr. Bookman." And the guy who plays the angel of death, by the way, you ready for this? Is the mayor of Amity in Jaws. Same guy.
Coincidence?
Well, you know what?
I think not.
There's so many famous actors who've been in Twilight Zones.
For sure.
Robert Redford, and I watched one the other day. John Marley, who was in The Godfather, was in it, and Frank Gorshin, who was Batman on TV. Now he was the Riddler in Batman. Anyway, so Ed Wynn is being confronted by the angel of death, and the little girl gets sick, I think, and then the angel of death is going to take her because she's sick, and he says, "Wait! Before you do that, he goes, let me give you one last pitch, one for the angels." So the angel of death sits on the stoop, and Ed Wynn shows him all the ties. It's from the finest silk from Japan, and he, shows him all the ties, and he captures this guy, and his pitch is so good that time runs out, and the girl gets better, and the angel of death doesn't get to take her. So that was his pitch, was one for the angels. How'd I do?
Pretty good. Yeah, you had all the key facts.
Okay, Mr. Bookman.
You nailed the Bookman. Death. I think, yeah, you pretty much described the whole show.
I can't do this every time.
Death observes that by making that great sales pitch. You know you could cheat.
Oh, okay. Then I'm in.
I mean, you could watch, because we're going in order.
Okay, I'll just take a look. Cause,
So
you know,
once a week, you just start.
Okay, I'll take a look at what.
And we won't tell anybody.
Here's
that
my
cheat.
prom. Okay, we will cheat, but here's my promise. Okay, I will take a look at the title. If I think I can do it
Without looking.
then
you won't.
Then I won't look.
But if you have to study, study.
If I have to study a little bit, I will study a little bit.
Better to be a prepared and well thought out description than having no idea what's happening.
Right.
But I believe it. Most of these you already kind of know.
I do love the Twilight Zone, and I would like to say, by the way, that the Twilight Zone is being, what do you call it, rebooted, revived right now on CBS All Access. If you subscribe to CBS All Access, Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
Keegan and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele, yeah. Which is a comedy show, right?
Yes, but that doesn't mean once you do comedy, you don't have to just do comedy for
No,
the rest
you
of
have
your
to
life.
stay the same forever.
No, you don't. You can branch out. I promise. He's the Rod Serling. He's the one who does all the narration and everything.
Okay.
And there are season 2, episode 1 of all the episodes of the 2 seasons is the one to me that is the most Twilight Zone. It's the one that's the most like perfect Twilight Zone that Rod Serling would approve of. Some of the other ones I don't know if he would approve of because they're kind of goofy stories. But I don't want to do any spoilers though.
Yeah, it's too new.
Okay. So watch the Twilight Zone on CBS All Access too. That's good. I took a, you know when you're on Facebook and it says, when you're
Perfect timing. Thank you, Facebook.
when you're on Facebook and it says, hey, take this quiz. See how much you know about this show, you know? And I took the Twilight Zone quiz and I failed it miserably.
Was it about one episode or one
No,
series?
it was all different episodes, and it was how many episodes of the Twilight Zone was Burgess Meredith in?
Oh, goodness.
So I guess 3. I was wrong. It was 4.
That's some straight trivia night
Right.
material
Exactly.
right there.
Right. And there was some stuff about the new. You know, I've seen all of the episodes of the new version once. You know, but I've seen some of the old show.
Well, because your son was into it as a kid, you guys
Right.
probably just always
Right.
kind of threw those on.
You know, did I ever mention that I wrote a novel?
Once or twice, but tell me more.
Unsuccessful novel.
Why is that? Because it
'Cause
didn't
nobody-
get picked up?
No.
Do we need to e-publish it?
Well, here's the problem. It's called Y2K.
Mm-hmm. It's a little out of date.
Exactly. We could call it something else. We could call it Tomorrow Never Comes. Anyway, so the behind the story is the Y2K problem. I brought this up for a reason. So the reason that I was going to do it, because my son and I were talking about the Twilight Zone, and I said, hey, wouldn't it be a cool Twilight Zone if this guy fixed the Y2K problem, and, you know, it goes back in time, and he meets this guy who says he did it too, and all this stuff. And he goes, yeah, that's great, let's write it. So we started writing, and if you ever watch the Twilight Zone, it says teleplay by, and whoever wrote the teleplay.
Is that for like television?
I guess. I never wrote a teleplay. I never know how to write a teleplay, so I just started typing, and it turned out to be a book instead of a script. But it was inspired by it.
Well, I think we should get that printed.
Well, I will send it to you, Jen. Okay.
Okay.
You can read it first. Why don't you read it first and find out if it's total crap, and then make a decision?
Are any of your children illustrators?
No.
Yeah, because it would be kind of a cool. Maybe we set some scenes and do some photography,
Wow.
like an illustrated.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
Because it's period piece.
What, the 90s?
1900.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because he goes back.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could figure something out. There's a lot of old buildings in this city, right?
But Okay, so I was watching The Godfather 2 over the weekend.
We know.
And Robert De Niro plays Vito Corleone back in 1917 or whatever. And they do have cars in the street, but there's the guy who sells the fruit. He's got his little stand and he sells fruit, and another guy sells vegetables, and that's kind of the scene that I envisioned in my 1900 without the cars. It was horse, you know. Like my character Jason looks out the window and he sees a gigantic horse-drawn cart that says ice real big on it. Remember ice? Like it would have like little frozen things on the bottom of each letter, so it looked like it was cold. And then this guy comes out with this big tongs thing, and he grabs a big old block of ice and brings it into the liquor store and comes back out. Because we talked about the ice box, didn't we?
I know.
That's where the ice came from
I
that guy.
don't remember that because of obvious reasons.
Okay, I meant, did you remember the conversation? I don't remember it either, by the way.
It reminds me, though, if you've ever been to a Burn-style camping festival, they hand out ice once a day.
For the ice box?
For coolers, for your ice boxes.
For the ice box.
It's almost the exact same concept.
So anyway, I don't know if we can recreate any of the scenes because it's all very old and, But
Well,
anyway,
there is a will, there is a way.
I will send you the Word document of it, or I think it's a PDF.
Yeah, let's
Actually, you know what it's going to be? It's a PDF because it did get printed.
one time.
There was this place called Varsity Printing, which was an online thing, which went out of
Yeah,
business.
and they'll do one book. Yeah, I guess that wasn't very lucrative.
Not a dime.
We'll figure something out.
All right. Do
Just
me a
get
favor.
you a nice cover.
Read it first. Find out if it's crap or not. Then we'll go on.
Okay, I will make some notes.
If it's crap, I don't want to hear from you again about it. If you love it, we'll talk. Is that fair?
Fair enough.
That's fair.
Yeah, send it over.
All right. Our thanks to William Roth, who gave us time today to talk about his great fundraiser going on, stlas.org. That stands for St. Louis Actors Studio, and they're having a small professional theater sustainment fund. You can go to that site, donate $75, and you may be able to hang out for 20 minutes on Zoom with John Hamm or Sterling K. Brown.
Sounds fun.
And he was really cool. He was a good guy.
I feel like Sterling K. Brown was at MICDS when I was there.
Well, let's check the age.
Like, now that I keep hearing that name, it sounds like a senior classman that was
Tell
in
me
school.
what year you were born.
1979.
So you're younger than him. So when you were a 76, 77, when you were a freshman, he was a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that he was one of those hotshot seniors walking around school.
Because he was born in 1976.
Yep.
By the way, the year I graduated high school.
So many factoids. Hey, so I have a little surprise for you.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday? That one time we talked with Jonas Muttballs?
Yeah.
She went right home. Well, she was already at home. But she has made us some treats.
Muttballs?
That are custom to your dog's ailments. I know you have an older dog.
Phantom is big.
With some hip issues.
Well, let me just, can I explain? There is a fatty chain of command in my house, okay? So we call Phantom Fatty, because he's big and he's fat.
That's so mean.
Sweeney is little fatty, and the Chihuahua is big fatty because his BMI is just terrible. He is just a big fat piece of crap, but we love him. So yes, he's fat, and his. It's funny you mentioned joints because when he lays down, getting up is like.
Just so much hassle.
Yeah. And he can't even jump on our bed anymore.
Oh.
He used to be able to jump. He used to jump a fence we used to put up to keep him out of the living room. He used to jump right over it. Now he can't even jump on the bed. He's old. He's 10 years old.
They make some staircases for that now. If you really want to help him out.
Please.
And
Okay?
maybe for you too, kind of.
Please.
Make sure you use the handrail.
Listen to me. Listen to me. We have a Chihuahua who is too small to jump up on the couch. So yes, my wife bought him stairs.
For the sofa.
For the sofa.
So cute.
Wait, not one, two. One for the sofa I sit on,
Oh my
and one
God.
for the one that Jessica sits on. And I said, why didn't you just get him a little doggy escalator? What's the problem? Why are we cheaping out?
You guys need a theme song for when he walks down the stairs. Like it automatically is like, here she comes.
For Chino?
Yeah. So Jonah's here.
So
She has just arrived.
wait, was that there? Here she comes by the Laws or by not Toadlet Sprocket?
It's a reference to a horrible high school movie that you have never seen. So Joda's in the building.
Let's bring her in.
She has brought us some treats. So
Bring her in.
Let me go get her.
Joda is here. Let me explain. Known as mutt balls, real quick. They are nutritious dog treats, not just nutritious, but delicious dog treats that are also specifically for any kind of fatty that you may have at home. Like we have Fatty Phantom. Little Fatty is Sweeney. He's not fat at all. He's slim and trim. And Big Fatty, which is the smallest dog of the whole thing. My wife made up those names, not me. So, here you go. So, known as mutt balls are delicious and nutritious, and they,
I don't know where here is.
oh,
Or he's
we're trying to figure out where here is. We found out that Jody is here, but we can't figure out where here is. Maybe she's out by the dock. Again, thanks to William Roth for being with us today and telling us about that great fundraiser for small theater productions. We appreciate his time. We know he's very busy, and we definitely appreciate him being with us.
Yes. Let's say thank you to our sponsors one more time.
Wait, the ones that deliver?
Which one delivers? Help me remember.
Is it Denali?
Yes, that is it.
Thought so.
Denali does
I don't know
deliver.
how I remember. Denali delivers. Here's how it works. Make a list of what you need. We source from Home Depot or the hardware store of your choice. Text the list to 314-499-2992 to start your order. Then, Denali delivers your order on the scheduled delivery date. Denali delivers. There we are. Hi, how you doing? Thanks so much for watching and for listening to Porcelli's Deli. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, our guest will be Johnny Henry.
Yeah, I'm excited
great
about that.
local artist and good friend of mine. We'll talk about his music, his career, and I hope he's coming in with his guitar and can do some songs here. I'll have to check on that. I'm not sure.
Okay. If
Otherwise,
not, we'll play some videos.
we can zoomy, right?
We can. Yeah, we're getting the zoom down. I think I figured out the one last technical flaw. Sorry about the echo.
But we have
echo.
to figure out so you can listen and be involved.
Yes.
Somehow.
I know.
figure it out.
There's some issues. All right.
So we'll talk to John tomorrow. Thanks again for William Roth's time today. Go to that site and find out how you can help and maybe get a nice Zoom meeting with John Hamm or Sterling K. Brown. Thanks to Jen. Thanks to Becca, wherever she went. And what?
We're going to track Joda down. And,
Yep.
and when she has those dog treats, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll do another quick one. Just check in
Just
with
to
us.
check in with her.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Peace. Love.
Bye-bye.
You guys have a great afternoon.